Hey Neppers, it's me, Wild Neptune, and if you are a new player to Nikke in 2026, this might be the most important video you ever watch for the game. So what could be so important for a new player in Nikke? Well, it is something that every single player will have to overcome eventually in their journey, and that is the dreaded 160 wall. What is the 160 wall? Well, go to the synchro device right here, which you unlock pretty early on, and you notice that for this new account I just made a few days ago, I'm currently at level 84 synchro, which is determined by the lowest level of my 5 highest levels, and I just put these Nikkes in here, and they are matched to my synchro level. Now, let's click on a Nikke here, like Rappy Red Hood, and you'll notice that something here called Limit Break. Click on this here, and you'll see my max level is 160. In order to raise my max level, I have to get 3 additional copies of this character. So the base copy, which is 0 stars, plus 3 more, which will get me to 3 stars, which is known as max limit break. Once that happens, I will really get this character and this character only to level 200. Now, if I want to get every other Nikke to level 200, I have to fill up these 5 slots with 5 max limit broken SSR rarity characters. And once I do that, I will be able to break the 160 wall and get all the way to 200, and at 200 is basically then just a resource dump to break that wall, and the amount to level up will increase by then. So, now let's get on to what are some of the best strategies to actually get some max limit broken characters. Even though the 160 wall is something that's very annoying and I don't think just should be in the game at all, it is, but there are ways to alleviate some of the pain and getting over it, and a couple of these things are going to be bonus recruit and the wish list. Let's go to the wish list first. Let's go to the recruit first because that's going to be a little bit easier to explain. Simply, you can pick one of these 5 Nikke at the cost of 100 points each to recruit. Now, how to get points? You simply recruit on this normal pull ordinary recruit right here. 1 point per a pull, no bonuses. You can do this up to 10 times. So that means you can get up to 10 copies of these assorted Nikke right here, all of which are really good, varying in how good they are. But for a new account, for a new player, these are all 5 very solid picks. Now, which one you pick first really depends on how your initial pulls went. By the time you get to 100 pulls, you should have a pretty idea on what specific hole in your roster that you really want to plug into. So yeah, for me, because I personally lack a good burst 2, it will probably be a copy of Naga. However, maybe you need another damage dealer, so someone like an Alice would be okay. Maybe you need a good burst 1 with a cooldown reduction, so maybe you'll pick leader. It just depends really on what you need at that moment. Next, let's go into the wish list. So this wish list is, you can set these Nikke, and only these Nikke will appear when you recruit. So no other ones that are not on this list will pop up when I hit recruit here. It will always be one of the ones on this wish list. Now, the wish list will only pop up once you recruit 40 times. So before that, well, you're just gonna get a random copy of a random Nikke in the world. Now, there are really 2 lines of thought when approaching this. One of them is to just click like the meta characters that are really, really good and just dupe those up. The other one, which is this is the thing that I'm doing right here, is put in the copies of Nikke that you already have and dupe those up regardless if they're actually good or not. Which is, I think, the more pertinent thing. Because let's be honest here. Between this bonus recruit right here and the other Nikke that might pop up, like let's say in a banner, or if you're doing this during like an anniversary or certain event where a Nikke is going to be really powerful and gonna pull it, like right now we're currently looking at things like Snow White, which I still have not gotten yet on this account. Very sad. I still have about a week left, so hopefully I get there. Or Factory Red Hood 2, which again, another really short Nikke. If you have to start the game during times like this, and you pull it on these with your gems, and you get one of them, well, that's just like a body roster that's permanently filled pretty much almost all of the time. Yes, getting dupes of meta Nikke is really, really nice. However, know what's nicer? Getting past that 160 wall. This is why I recommend that you just take the copies of the Nikke that you already have pulled and just slot them in. It's like base Celine here, or like base Query. You know, not really good. Like, I'll be honest with you, right? Privity's here because you actually get a free copy of Privity, and it means you only have to pull 3 more in order to actually get the max limit break. I have a leader here too. I've actually pulled leader for my initial 10 pull, which you do get a free random SSR from the base pool, which means only launch Nikke will appear in it. So the lead is here, so I can pull another one of her and then maybe get another copy in a normal recruit, if I wanted to. Julia, ironically, I have all of the reject Nikke pulled, like FNL, Celine, Julia. So I have Naga here because Naga's pretty good, and I do plan on getting her from my first recruit, unless I somehow get like a crown or something like that, and then maybe I will change my my plans right there. Drake is interesting because you do get 3 copies of Drake for free by doing a quest in the game, which we'll go to in a little bit after this. So you only have to pull 1 copy of Drake to get your first max limit broken character potentially. And then here, I have a copy of Bay, I have base Aid, which isn't the best again. But yeah, just putting in copies of Nikke I already have in order to try to get them started up, in order to try to break that wall. For Pilgrims and Overspec though, that's a little bit different. Because the pull rate on Pilgrims and Overspec is so low, you should just go for the ones you need and not really worry about getting dupes of them. So, none of these, right? I do have, let's look at it right here. I do have Skull Black Shadow and Rapid Red Hood. And why are putting these here? You want dupes of them? Yeah, it'll be nice to have dupes of them, yes. However, like I said, the pull rate of them is so low, and Pilgrims by themselves are just so valuable. For this particular one, I would recommend that you just put in the ones that you need overall. Now, let's say that you do not want to do it this way and just want to pick up the Nikkes that are like the most meta relevant. Well, let's go over that really quickly here. Let's start with Elysion here, and this is one of the best characters possible, I think, from the wishlist for each different manufacturer. I think Vexy Tactical Upgrade is a big consideration for Elysion. I think if you have like a selector or something like this account did from the event, then this is actually probably the best choice to pick from that. And she's just a really strong character, really good in story mode, really good in tower. She's actually a pretty good off-burst character because she doesn't have to burst to do a lot of damage in story because she has inherent AoE for a lot of her attacks. So just a very good character overall. Not really good in bossing, but that doesn't really matter that much at this point in the game. 2 more characters you should put on if you just want to have the best meta characters possible at the moment. It's going to be Maid Anchor and Maid Mask. One of the strongest duo combos in the game, offers a lot of survivability, a lot of support, a lot of damage boosting, especially for distributed damage characters, so just extremely strong overall. So I think these 3 just locks in for having them. After that, it really depends on really what you want. Helm is a pretty good option too, so because yes, she is in that bonus recruit for 100 points, however, you do have to have at least 3 copies of her in order to get to her favorite favorite item, which does make her extremely powerful, like one of the top 5 best characters in the game, borderline, I would say. It really a consideration to put her here. After that, again, it really depends. You can pick Yunwon or Emma, the new versions. Both of them are pretty powerful overall. You could also pick something like Miranda, who is a very strong burst 1 character, who does need a favorite item in order to get to her point. So maybe not the best for a new player, but again, somebody here who will have some staying power in the future. For Missilis, I think unless you have Little Mermaid or you are using Refuvetor as the first one, having Leader is a pretty good option. She is a strong character who, yes, again, like Helm, is in the 100-point recruit. However, she's available for the body shop, which we'll go over in a little bit too. And again, just still one of the best first ones in the entire game. A really good character to be one of the ones that you max limit break. After that, I do recommend that every single person does put Drake in their Missilis one. Again, you get 3 copies for free for doing a quest, and she is a very, very good character once you get her special item online. Basically core for the shotgun team, which you will want to build eventually down the line. After that, it gets kind of tricky. Naga, not the super meta option like she was a long time ago, but still a really strong unit overall. Something that I think we'll see moderate use for a new player. Mega use for new players, unless you get unless you get Crown. But yeah, after that though, it really depends on really what you want to get. A lot of the options in Missilis are a little more niche overall. There's a lot of PvP characters here, or a lot of characters that have seen more use in previous days. Like Trina, really good character, but really only paired for electric raids, and only really with characters like Scarlet. Mana is another pretty good character too, if you want to pick her up. A character I might recommend though is actually picking up Quincy Escape Queen if you want a meta character, and this is mainly because at the moment there are not a lot of really strong water DPS that are not limited characters or pilgrims, and Quincy has proven to be the savior of the free-to-play community that needs a water character. So that's somebody who you might want to put in. Another one too for the shotgun team might be Tove, or Tove, however you say it. Could be a good option also to put in, as she is currently a meta character. But after that, like I said, most of these are going to be a little more niche, not as widely used. So just pick the ones that you really want to have on your roster. For Tetra, if you just want the best characters overall, go all the way to the bottom and hit Bunny Egg, Bunny Milk, Rouge, and then 2 other characters that you just kind of want. And that's basically what I would say you want to do here. Alice is pretty good also. Both Alice and Bunny Milk are characters that really want to be manual controlled. So if you're not really into that, maybe don't pick them. However, they are 2 very strong characters once you know how to use them. And so if you just want to do that and get the strongest characters that way, you can then also, Bunny Aid is a very strong support character, and Rouge is the best partner for Cinderella, which is a program. But if you do have her, you definitely want to try to pick up Rouge if possible. As for the last slot, and like I said, it can be, almost anything. Volume is a suitable burst 1 character overall. Both Noor and Blanc are 2 characters that are pretty good. Used to be really good, but now just kind of mediocre in comparison because of the power creep. However, that might change with someone like a favorite item or something that they might get in the future. Exia is a strong character if she has her favorite item on. Remember, favorite items do require a lot of investment, and for a newer player will be a substantial hurdle to get to. So if you plan on picking her up because she's going to be good in electric raids, remember that you getting to that point, if you're a new player, will take a long time. However, these 4 characters I think are just undoubtedly the strongest right now for Tetra, and then the last one can just be kind of a filler depending. Obviously, there are other characters too for PvP if you want to do that, like Biscuit is really strong in that area. However, this is going to be mainly more for PvE and just trying to break through that wall and get those best characters in slot. And finally, for Pilgrim / Overspec, This is actually pretty difficult to choose which ones you want to get. In my opinion, Rapid Record is the strongest character in the game right now, overall best character. So 100%, if you don't have her, she should be on this list. After that, you should pick Crown. Crown is the best burst 2 still, I believe, in the game, and 100% should also be on this list. Everybody should want Crown. After that, I think Little Mermaid is going to be the best burst 1 in the game overall. Now, Rapid Vector can also be a burst 1, but a lot of times you will want to have her as the burst 3 just to do that more damage, and getting to your Little Mermaid on burst 1 is going to be really, really game breaking for any account that doesn't have her. So I think these 3 baseline are going to be ones you want to get right away. After that, it really depends. I think that Nayuta is really, really strong as the first 2 also. So when you pick her up, you can. Cinderella is still one of the best boss killers in the entire game. However, not as good if you do not have Rouge. So if you do have Rouge, I think you should automatically have Cinderella here. If you don't, maybe want to take it off, maybe pick up someone like Librario, because Librario pairs extremely well with characters like Scarlet Black Shadow, if you have her. If you don't have her, still a really good option to have. I think that eventually, like, once you have 1 or 2 of these, you want to pick up Mihara Bond and Chain. Ironically, a character that people thought really sucked at first, but after, a little bit of testing and more work, she is the best off-burst character in the entire game, which simply means a character that does not have to use their burst skill to do a lot of damage. She does so much damage without bursting, she will a lot of times actually out-damage your secondary burst character for that team. So just an extremely good overall character to get. This is really more about characters not to pick versus ones that you should. So I would say that even though all these characters, well, most of these characters are pretty good, you probably want to avoid picking Snow White, Isabelle, Rapunzel, Regular Scarlet, Haran, Noah, Modernia, Dorothy, Grave, or unfortunately Red Hood also from this list until you pick up at least 1 copy of all the other ones. And like I said, even though you can technically use this to get dupes and limit break your characters here, the rate that you get Pilgrims is so low that once you get 1 copy, you should just take that out of this pool and put in a new character that you want until you have all of them. Now let's really quickly go over some of the other ways that we get like copies of certain Nikke overall. One of them, like I said, is going to be this Road to Villain quest line that we have right here. It says it end when informed separately, so right now it's going to be here for a little bit. And you do these quests right here, some challenge quests, some weekly quests. You have also daily quests you can do also. And you get some rewards for just doing it. Some pretty good rewards too for newer players, and for all players actually. If you're a newer returning player, get really nice things. You get these things to level up your items, some skill books, stuff like that. But most importantly, you get copies of Drake. So right here at level 20, I get my first copy. At level 40, I will get the second copy. And at level 60, I will get the third and final copy that this quest line will give me. And after that, there's still more levels, but no more copies, just, small bonuses I can get just for doing all this good stuff. Really nice quest event path. And like I said, you need 4 total copies, the base copy plus 3 dupes, so that means only 1 more to get 1 max limit broken character. You also get this quest line right here called Day by Day. For some reason, it has, what do you call it? Oh, Diesel right here. Because, if you don't know, I believe in the visual part, of the game, they really wanted to push Diesel as, the main character, or the main Nikke, something like that, in the early, builds of the game. But they kind of, I guess, moved away from that. So you will get a copy of Privity for free. So, there's kind of a disconnect right there. But once you do 45 of these quests here, you will get to pick up 1 copy of Privity. And just do this just by playing the game. These are relatively easy to fulfill. And you actually don't have to do all of these there are enough of these where you can actually skip some of them. So some of them later on, you might run into a little bit of a wall over. However, just about everybody will be able to do this pretty quickly and get a first copy of Privity, who is an okay Nikke, right? She used to be a lot better, obviously overall. I say really good, a suitable off-burst character to have. But again, that's a pretty good Nikke to have, and one less you have to pull overall to get to that wall. Another thing is there's a quest that if you go here, and let's go over to main, and is it over here? No, sorry, it's in challenge. And go all the way down here, and you'll see here, level up a Nikke to level 141 for the first time. When you do this, you get this right here, which is a spare body selection box, which is basically you can pick one spare body of any of these Nikke right here. Now, these are only Nikke that were in the base game, so no new characters are going to be on this. But yeah, so like just pick one of these, and you will select a copy of a Nikke, and you can use that in order to boost their star level. I would not use this until the very end, so once you know that this is the last copy I need in order to get to that 5th Nikke to max limit break, but you just have this, in your bag overall, in your back pocket. I popped in my main account in order to show you this because my alt account doesn't have any, but during anniversaries, so half year and full anniversaries, they usually get out these boxes right here. So right here you see the 3rd anniversary Nikke selection box and this 2.5 anniversary Nikke selection box, and you click on it right here, hit use. There'll be Nikke here from like previous events you can pick up. If you want to, you pick up one copy each of them. However, eventually, as you see right here, they gave me 3 here. You will be able to fully limit break one particular Nikke if you want to get over the wall that way. So, if you're playing the game sometime close to one of these anniversaries, right now we just kind of passed one, so it's going to be a little while before we get to that. However, watch this in the future and it's a little bit closer to that time, you can basically check this off as a Nikke that you have at max limit break. Again, because these are boxes and they don't go away, I recommend you don't do this until the very end, the last point where you decide, okay, I'm at the wall and I want to get over it, and I'm just going to forget about these other characters and just limit break one of the ones that I want to. So that is going to be an option that you can do. Finally, we have the body label shop. As you pull, you will get mileage, 1 per a pull. So there are 2 types. There is silver mileage and golden mileage. Golden mileage can be used to pick up a copy of your first main Nikke for a 1 in the current favorite item season. So that's right here, and you see the box, and these are the 4 Nikke that are in the favorite item pool for this season, which is ending soon, and they haven't announced the new favorite items yet, as far as I know. So I'm really curious what's happening with this. Or you can, more importantly, pick up the current banner Nikke. The 2 current banners running are Snow White, the new one, and Rappy Red Hood as a rerun. You should almost always use these golden tickets on Pilgrim or Overspec banners because those are at 1% pulls versus the normal 2% that other banners have. So the general thing is that you pull on 2% in order to get these copies to just buy these out without actually pulling on the banners themselves. However, there are also silver tickets, and you can use 200 of those to get a copy, a spare body of a Nikke that you already own. You can also get a copy of one you don't own, but I don't know why you would want to do that. Now, this is not every Nikke in the game. It is actually limited to a pretty overall small pool. So one of those pools, there are a lot of websites where you can get those overall. And yeah, so let's say that I needed to have one more copy of Miranda in order to max limit break her, then I can, get 200 of these eventually and just buy one. Now, you will 100% have at least one. It's probably like 4 or 5 of these like things to buy before you get to your max limit break, maybe. And I would recommend you wait until you know for sure that, again, like any other ones that cost some sort of currency, to until the very last moment in order to use this up, because this is a pretty big investment overall, and you don't want to accidentally pull a copy of a Nikke that you have limit broken in order to get to the past that wall, but you aren't past the wall yet. Obviously, eventually you will get Nikke past max limit break up to like your core +1, +2, and so on. But before that happens, you probably want to maximize the amount of body labels you are buying and utilizing. I hope you enjoyed this video and hope it's really helpful for anybody looking to get into the game and want to get over that dreaded 160 wall. Obviously, if you spend money, you really get over it a little bit faster with the power of the credit card and all of that, but this was aimed towards a free-to-play player and somebody with really limited knowledge of the game. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments below. A like, subscription will also be greatly appreciated. Anyway, I'm Wild Neptune. It's been a good one. Till next time.